And in a landmark development, the United Kingdom and the European Union reached a Brexit deal in Brussels. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced the deal on Brexit. Boris Johnson termed the deal a fair and balanced one. But the Britain will officially exit from the European Union on October 31st. The new deal will be debated in the UK Parliament on Saturday. The EU summit is expected to debate and endorse the deal. Well, UK and EU officials reportedly sorted out contentious issues, including VAT and customs. My colleague Nikhil Vasaki joins us over the phone line with more details on this. Well, Nikhil, after a huge delay, now finally an agreement has been reached between the United Kingdom and the European Union.
Well, it certainly is appearing that way right now. There's still a lot more to actually speak about, but eventually what Boris Johnson would be celebrating as a good deal, this was after days of an intense rounds of negotiation. It is still to be formally approved and ratified by both the European Parliament and the UK Parliament. So here we see Boris Johnson, he had even tweeted about it, said that two sides had struck a great new deal and urged the UK lawmakers to ratify it in a special session that is to take place on Saturday, the 19th of October. In this particular series of deals, a lot of trade deals have to be spoken about. They wanted to fine-tune customs and sales tax regulations that will be required to regulate the amount of trade and goods that happens, particularly between Northern Ireland and Ireland, because Ireland is a separate country which is in the vicinity of the British Isles, but it shares a border with Northern Ireland, which is a part of the United Kingdom. So that itself was the spark that led to this whole fire of the Brexit discussions itself. So if there is a formal separation, if at all, of the United Kingdom from the European Union, that would jeopardize trade between Northern Ireland and Ireland. So a special regulation had to be created for that. So even European leaders were upbeat with such a negotiation, a marriage, so to speak, that has been stated. But when Boris Johnson took over in the month of July, he had been calling Brexit as his Everest, and the summit was in sight. But having said that, Northern Ireland, particularly the Democratic Unionist Party of Northern Ireland, is not up for this revised deal as of yet. There's still a lot of difficulty that the province of Northern Ireland would face if there is a complete removal from the European Union of the United Kingdom. But having said that, if there is a pilot program launched for this particular deal, this sales tax deal and the trade deal that involves fine-tuning of customs between the two nations, between the two sets of nations, we will have to wait and see and measure the benefits and the costs involved in such a measure, Pratibha.
That's right. Also, Nikhil, we're already seeing the markets cheering with the pound surging, and of course markets across the world will also be cheering the news.
Absolutely, given that this is being viewed with a great deal of positivity, because it is being seen as a positive compromise for both entities over here. So while there has been talk about a complete separation, there is still hand-holding that is expected to continue through this particular deal. So yes, that is how the forex market has reacted with the pound surging the way it has, and consequently it will have its effects on other nations as well. But of course, one will have to observe the euro closely as well, because there are many currencies that are pegged to the euro just as they are pegged to the US dollar. So far-reaching consequences may be there, Pratibha.
Right. Many thanks, Nikhil, for joining us with those details.